am the one who walks like a king. I am the one who cares not always to win. The wars I do not care, they hurt us all. You make it so hard, you always want to win. Please believe we care and do understand. I am the one who walks like a king.
So recently we've seen a lot of football false flags. The Madden 19, that other football player that died. Burt Reynolds, murdered by numbers. And it's interesting because I heard Zach talking about, the shape of the football being the Vesica Pisces. And it's true. It is. It represents the womb, the birthplace. And it got me thinking a little bit about some of these false flags that I've seen over the years. And me and Bill, we've tracked down, where these things and events happened. And they have symbology of different parts of almost like, whether it's the Jesus story, but it's not just the Jesus story. It's more the Osiris, Isis, Horus story. Okay, it's more the ancient Egyptian story. Okay, so don't go off on the tangent. Oh, so it's Jesus Christ, yay! No, it's not about that. Because when they interpret something, it's more towards the ancient Egypt stuff. The newer interpretation of the ancient Egypt stuff is the Jesus story, Jesus and Mary and all that shit. Okay? Okay. So anyways, the false flags over the years have taken this very symbolic nature to them. Different parts of the year, they go through symbology representing these different things, And what I saw last year was by the time we hit October, we saw the resurrection portion, okay? And so if we're at the Vesica Pisces, we're at the, we're at that stage because they're doing all this football symbology, the Vesica Pisces symbology. Then we're in the womb stage of the false flags, okay? Which means later on in fall, they're going to do false flags representative of the birth, okay? So then there'll be the birth, the death, the resurrection, okay? It's very symbolic. You may not believe me, may not understand it, but if you actually took the time over the years to really look at the places where they did these false flags, you'd see this symbology, and different things, whether it's different buildings, different types of buildings, whether they're pyramid-shaped, whether they're obelisk-shaped, whether they have one of those giant Ferris wheels representing the Wheel of Fortune. There's a lot there. And you have to take that in when you're looking at these things to start to see what these people are doing. Because I mentioned something today about Kennedy, about JFK and his assassination. Okay, and a lot of people are on this new thing, both JFKs are alive and all this shit. I haven't seen any evidence that says they are, so I'm going to have to go with they've been sacrificed. Especially with JFK Jr. and the Bush connection and Clinton connection to his death and how they turned people away from trying to, help him and find his body and all that jazz, and how they, intentionally did some crazy shit to bury it. Yeah. And because of the position where the plane went down and its closeness to what's that place on Long Island? They have the hydrogen collider there, and they've supposedly got that laser there that's knocked a lot of shit out of the sky. Well, anyways, that area's got a lot of crazy governmental shit happening there. So it's not a surprise that was an area where he would have gotten knocked out of the sky from. So that doesn't surprise me because that's right where Flight 800 is. Literally, if you looked at where Flight 800 went down and then backed right up into the Long Island, you'd see, I keep on forgetting the name of the place off the top of my head. It'll come to me right after we do this video. But if you actually did some research there, there's a little large hydrogen collider right on Long Island there, and they do a lot of experiments in that part of Long Island. Also, not too far from Plum Island, where they've done all kinds of experiments. It's where they invented Lyme disease, because the first dare ticks that had Lyme were found in Lyme, Connecticut, which is straight across from Plum Island in Connecticut. So they just happened to find this new disease, right across from where they do these crazy medical experiments. Okay? So, these people are sick. These people are sick. They plan and do everything. But anyways, back to Kennedy. Okay? And I mentioned something because, they always do tell you what they're doing. That's why it's important to know the symbology and see what they're doing, why they're representing different, using different numbers, why they're using different symbology for different times of the year, and all that stuff. You got to take that all in. But I said, well, it's pretty easy. You got 11/22. He died in November 22. You take 22 and 11, add them together, you got 33. And he died in 63. You got 3 6s. And I think more or less the Kennedy assassination was he fit those numbers. And if you really see how these people kill people by the numbers, they were going to kill somebody important that day no matter what, because that date was a ritualistic date, and it wasn't going to come around again for, who knows when, like never. So anyways, that fit their schematics, you might say. Their schematics of sacrifice and insanity and bullshit that they do in this world. And I noticed it was like the flat earth people were obsessed with Kennedy still being alive. And, this is the thing. This is why I have a problem with flat earth, because it's a Mason psyop. Okay? They want to push people that there has to be a God. Okay? I'm not saying there isn't. Just saying, but they need people in that mentality. That way they can control them. Okay? So that's what the whole flat earth thing is about. But you also understand why so many people that fall for this flat earth stuff also are going towards this. JFK is alive. Well, if JFK is alive, then you can't really blame the Masons because they didn't really kill him, right? That's why they have these things going on. And I want people to understand this. Because I try not to get upset at these people for falling for it. But I really wish they would start to see why these psyops are out there. Why it's so important for them to believe stuff like that. You can't blame the Clintons or Bushes for JFK Jr.'s death if he didn't really die. Okay? It's simple as that. Truth is Sweet says something to me today. He says something, which I had totally forgotten about. In 04, they changed the whole story on Flight 93, and then go back to 93, and that's all in the gematria when you get to 93. But let's back up. This is the one where they told us that people bum rushed the pilot, the hijacker. And we heard the tapes on the phone. And then in 04, they changed the story and said that didn't happen. And nobody questioned it. Nobody questioned it. The FBI changed this story. And this is why I so often say the FBI are scum, okay? Because it's not just they're not going after Larry Silverstein. They are complicit in the event itself. And it's not just this event. It's not just 9/11. So many events that happen literally every day. They are involved in evil. The lower people on the totem pole are stupid and they don't even know it. This is why the FBI doesn't hire the smartest. They only hire the best educated, the best brainwashed. They don't hire the smartest, only the brainwashed, so that they could keep them on the lower end doing their stupid work while they're all fucking America on the top end. That's how that shit works. It's scary, but that's how that shit works. So, I want people to be aware that, I think everybody should have the right to believe the earth is whatever it is. Because, in theory, when you believe in whatever God you want to believe in, it should be between you and your God. And it should be your own private world in that sense. So I don't want to take away their, belief if they believe in it, whether it's flat or whatever, square or octagonal. I don't even know what the fuck they believe half the time. But I don't want to take away from that. But I want them to be aware of why they need people to go under these psyops. And for them to even understand this. even if those beliefs were out there, even if you believed them, you should not believe, or at least part of you should not believe it because of, or not saying not believe it, but not speak about it. Because not only that, not only the fact that it makes you look crazy, but because this is how they gain control over your mind. Then you start doubting the things that they do. And we actually need to go after these people for the things they do. Okay? So, please at least investigate something to have actual evidence before it becomes proof. You know, and not just say, well, this is that, and that's it. And then, well, because there's a God that answers the question that you can't answer. God doesn't want that. God doesn't want you to say, oh, no, that's just God. Trust that. No. If God is truth, He wants you to find truth. Don't you get that? I don't know how people don't get that. But anyways, so, that's that. They tell you who they are. 11/22, 33, all day long. They're Masons. The Masons killed Kennedy. Simple as that. It's been said a million times. It's why they got a big obelisk at Daley Plaza. That's why the Daley was a 33rd degree master Mason that they named that plaza after. That's why they got a big pyramid built there. It's why they got the little half moon. It was all symbolic. And it was Masonic. And, it was a sacrifice. So, deal with it. That's what it comes down to. Deal with it. These people are evil. And if they keep you doubting these people are probably still alive living on Grays Island. And there may be some people like that. But don't get this wrong. I've dealt with these people before. They are pure evil. They don't have souls. And if you want to take the religious sense in that, that's fine. But let me tell you something. That's what they're like. These people are soulless and evil. So they have no problem killing people. They send children, American children, off to war to fight people that have no quorum with them or their families. To kill mothers, children, fathers, families. For no other reason than oil or, eugenics, or to steal their history, to steal their land. They don't care about you. They really don't care about you. You need to understand that. They don't care about you. They're evil. So don't ever doubt that they won't kill somebody. They will. They're bastards. But we need to discuss this more so people understand that these people that work for the FBI are evil and everything else. We keep on letting them get away with, he could still be alive. Well, then they're not really responsible. Then what? What happens when it comes to your time and your number is up? You're taking your last breath, Are you going to be concerned whether the earth was flat or round? You're going to be concerned whether JFK is alive or dead? You're going to know that you're dying. So, find the truth now, before that happens, before your number's up. Because you never know when that is if you don't start figuring out the numbers.